Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the show Sisters Corner after a short break. I have a lovely guest, Aysha Iqbal, and we are discussing about confident speaking, confident communication, and how to be a good public speaker. Here I have Aysha, lovely Aysha, and I am discussing obviously all about being confident, and I would like to go towards empowering women. And it's one of the most important thing is, obviously being confident, and you should be able to take your life decisions, and that is only possible when you are confident enough or you have good communication skills. What would you like to advise to Asian women who are sitting at home, how we can empower them? Or obviously it's very important in today's society for ladies to work, go out, a little bit socializing, knowing what is important, daily jobs, daily kind of things. What would you like to advise?
I think, it's really important to have a balanced life. I think never just be dedicated to just the home. I think you should have your friends for sure. I think you should be involved in your community. I think it's fantastic if you can maintain during your marriage even a part-time role, because I think for women, one of the problems is that many women from our Asian community are not financially very savvy. They often don't know where their bills are going from, because men take control of that whole area. They don't know how to do tax returns, even basic things they're unaware of. And money is one of the most important things in life to be stable. So you need, if you want, even if you're in a marriage in the day and age in which we are living, no one knows what's going to happen tomorrow. So if you have a financial buffer or some kind of security that you're building up, God forbid, but if the worst hits the worst, you are not going to be in the worst predicament. You're not going to be having to rely on other services, etc. So I think always do not neglect the money aspect. Women often can marry and think, and there's a real typical ideology in our Asian community that it's the man will do it. The girl's got to get married to a guy who's got the money. It's not necessarily the best advice, because then you're 100% dependent on them.
Learn to build yourself.
Yes. Build yourself.
And then build the man.
Absolutely. Build yourself. And there's no reason why not to invest in yourself. You are valuable. You should invest in yourself.
True. I think that is the only point, Aysha, I would say, obviously in our community as well. I think it's not only Asian, but African community as well. We have to learn to invest on ourselves. So that is the only way we can rebuild our confidence, ourselves, and then we can have a bright future.
Absolutely. They say inevitably that there's, with confidence, I was talking about body language and voice and the way we go out into the world. That is definitely a huge component, because how we go out into the world will receive us. But secondly, your competence will build your it will fuel your confidence. So if you know that I've got monetary control, I've got financial control, I've got my financial assets. If you know that I've got my peer group, my support group as well. If you know that I've got other hobbies and interests beyond my marriage, that means you have a life beyond just the marriage. And that will give you a stronger sense of confidence inevitably.
Yeah, that's very true. Do you think that this is the main cause or reason of some of the ladies going through any kind of domestic violence, or sitting because they not learn to be very confident, or coming out of the situation, they don't know how they can rebuild themselves or work on themselves or invest on themselves, and then stand on their own feet? I think that's the main reason. What do you think?
I think that women who go into domestically abusive situations, I think generally they're repeating negative emotional patterns. I think they've probably come from homes where they maybe not have realized it, but there was oppression there. And because they're used to that dynamic, they've now attracted a man, and they're attracted to a man who's repeating similar dynamics. It might be different, but in a different form. But they've gravitated towards another abusive situation. I think that pattern has started from childhood, and it's given them low self-esteem. And because of that low self-esteem, why would you tolerate or even allow another person to violate you in any way? It's unacceptable. One man If one man even hits you once, that is the time to draw the line and say, okay,
Yeah, this is
if this is it, you now move out.
Yeah.
And if you can change your ways,
Yeah.
then we can consider it and then give them a trial. But do not accept that. When you accept something, you're allowing that behavior.
Yeah.
So you are creating, you have to realize that we create a lot of the dynamics ourselves because we're accepting it.
Yeah.
If you don't accept things, people will stop. People treat you how you allow yourself to be treated. And low self-esteem will make you say, oh, I'll stay with them or this. Well, so if somebody is abusing you physically, domestically violence, even research shows that those kind of people generally don't tend to be good people.
Yeah.
If somebody loves, they often do a lot of manipulation.
Yeah.
If somebody loves you, they will not want to hurt you.
Yeah.
So don't mistake don't take their words, take their actions.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Actions are more important than the words.
Completely. And that's what women...
They can say anything, but
Yes.
it's all about, doing.
Absolutely.
What they can do.
And women are very kind of brainwashed to be thinking and are very sentimental and very heart focused. So they naturally tend to think about the romantic aspect, or he said he loved me, and we can be so craving for love that even somebody can be whacking us and he'll say that I love you and we're like, okay, but no.
Yeah.
Come to reality.
Yeah.
Somebody's hitting you and doing it constantly, has no remorse.
Yeah.
They do not love you.
Yeah.
You should not insult yourself by being with that person.
Yeah. Love doesn't hurt anyway.
It doesn't hurt. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what would you like to, obviously, especially the teenage children, they are mostly they're in devices and kind of, they are not very into like socializing or going out, talking to the friends, talking to the family. What would you like to advise them as, because it's a very crucial period or time of age, where they need to learn how to communicate with other people. But if they are very linked with devices or, all the time on the computer or into the games, they are not coming out, to learn those skills or communicate.
Yes. Firstly, we're in a stuck situation because this is the way the world is going. We're stuck right now. So the only thing that can be done is parents have to be very restrictive and restrict the amount of time their children are on social media. Recently, I was watching a video and it demonstrated that when social media was being created, the man who created it created a formula that was going to be addictive for children, to addict them to social media, which would destroy them of normal life. So don't think these are just innocent things that have just come about. These have been planned. They have used heightened levels of psychology and created addictive devices to glue young people to these devices. So you must limit them because it's showing, evidence is showing that, the more time children and even adults are spending on social media, the more psychological problems they're having. Because the way it's all about how many likes you're getting. It's all about and it's an on-screen world and it's also not reality. So parents need to stamp down on that.
Yeah. And the other thing is, obviously, you will have communication skills at that time when you will learn to communicate. And if you're not communicating with anyone, how are you going to learn?
Absolutely, because many children nowadays are at home on their screens and they don't know how to have a conversation because phone calls have stopped. They're not socializing out on the streets anymore. So I think parents should try to start up a little action where they get the children together, they get them to interact with one another or they interact with them more and really limit their screen time, because I don't think the long-term consequences of social media has anything positive to result in.
Yeah, and honestly, Aysha, I'm not that old, but I never had like my phone. I never had phone before marriage. Yeah. My parents never let me to have phone. That was a simple thing, and it's not obviously that old, like in not, it's just in 90s kind of thing. But they never allowed me.
Wasn't that a wonderful time though? We had, we thought we had it bad, but we had it a lot easier. Yeah. I mean, we had TV at that time, which in itself is very has its agenda, but then to add on top of that social media, which makes you engage with it and is constantly demonstrating images of perfection. Yeah. I think for women it's devastatingly dangerous, and I think for men as well. And I think it's going to breed a next generation of very confused, very uncertain, very insecure, and very vulnerable young people.
I think this is the main reason. Sometimes you see the parents are themselves, on the devices all the time, and then the children are just, watching them, what they're doing. And then rather than concentrating what they have to, what they're supposed to. So
Because they're designed to be addictive.
Yeah.
They've been designed to be addictive.
Yeah.
They've made it so that we become addicted. You have to be.
Yeah.
I don't watch Instagram for more than maybe half an hour a day, but I'm super disciplined.
Yeah.
If I wasn't, like
Yeah.
in the past, I would be scrolling for hours. It's that addictive.
Yeah. Aysha, when we talk about like public speaking and you train people to become a public speaker, so would you like to tell us about where do you train them? It's online, or how they can come to you to learn to be a public speaker?
Yeah, so I train a variety of individuals to be powerful public speakers, whether that's corporates, whether that's business people, whether that's even students or individuals. And really what I'm doing is, I mean, public speaking is changing so much. In 2022, before then, it was more of a monologue. You could speak on stage. Now it's more of a dialogue. You need to be persuasive. You need to be engaging. You need to put your message across if you want to have an impact. So that's what I deliver. I show people, how do you really make an impact with your public presentations, so that it's not, so that it's something that really is remembered by people. And for that, if anyone wants to get in touch with me, just connect with me on LinkedIn. Really, that's the best way.
You can share your website or anything.
Absolutely. My website is www.wisecoms.co.uk. That's wise with a Z in it.
WIZ.
ZE. Comms.
Yeah, okay.
And Aysha Iqbal is on LinkedIn as well, and that's got a lot of my information and everything on it as well.
So is there what is the duration for the training, or how do you deliver it? Do you do any workshops?
Sure, I do one-on-one training, coaching sessions with clients who want that one-on-one intensive, but I also deliver training to teams, and that can usually be groups of up to 15 people. And I'll be training them in how to, it's very results focused. So I'm training them, but they're getting a lot of practice along the way. By the end of the session, they go from being pretty uncertain to delivering a much more engaging presentation. It's all about getting them to actually enact the learning so it's really productive for them.
When you train people, like what sort of techniques you use for them to have a good presentation skills?
So really, the techniques that I do is I use the formula for powerful public speaking. There is actually a formula for most things in life. There's a formula even for the arts and public speaking. So if you look at some of the most effective public speakers, they all do a number of similar things. Firstly, they open very, very strong. Your opening is key because you could otherwise lose your audience within the first 7 seconds. Your structure of your presentation, I always use a power of 3 in the structure of my presentation because it gives it a nice flow. You need to be persuasive. You need to use techniques of persuasion. I say keep your techniques very honest, but you need to be persuasive so that you can move your audience towards your perspective. You need to also be engaging, right? Audiences want interactivity now, so ask them questions, give them some exercises to do. People love that now. Engage them, definitely. Nowadays it's all about engagement. And also, when you close your presentations, you need to close them on a call to action so that it's memorable. And also the other thing is slides. People do not use their slides well. They fill up their slides with so much information, whereas good slides or good presenters, what they do, they use limited information and they use very strong images because images speak 1,000 times, have more volume than words. And say a lot more. So if you use strong images, you'll get your message across a lot faster. So when I do my presentations, I'm very focused on keeping it very concise on my slides, using the best images that I can use, making it informative and educational and engaging, but also entertaining. And that tends to work pretty well. But I'm always evolving. I'm always learning. Every time I do it, every time I deliver a presentation, I think, how can I learn from this? How can I get better? Because I'm just driven like that. I'm always trying to improve. So.
And obviously, this is very important to have a kind of inclusive practice, with engaging and kind of, encouraging them to speak out as well.
Absolutely.
These are like sort of very important things to present, as you have mentioned before.
I mean, I think a lot of people fear public speaking, but they don't need to, because sometimes the fear comes for a number of reasons. One, they don't know what public speaking involves. They don't know how to structure their presentation. They think they have to be like someone else. They don't.
Yeah.
They think they can't make any mistakes, but it's okay to make a few mistakes, right?
Yeah.
And you have to start somewhere. You just have to have, the first, I think the most important thing is just to have courage and just get started if you really want to be good at it.
Yeah.
Learn the skills, just go out there, speak at events and occasions. So what if it doesn't always go perfectly? It's fine.
Yeah.
As long as you're doing it to your best of your capability, you will naturally start to grow further.
I remember when I was doing speeches when I was a child, I was doing in front of the mirror all the time in front of my dad. Oh, this is what I have to, I was going like for competitions for speeches. So this is like where you need to build in yourself that yes, you can do it, and then you have to start practicing from home. Yeah,
practice from home. And another great way to practice is to practice on your iPhone or your your phone video recorder. Watch yourself back and think, where can I improve? Or otherwise, get a coach who can really shortcut the process for you.
Yeah,
because they have an eye for, that's their area of expertise. They can see what you can't see. They can show you what you're not able to understand yourself.
Yeah.
And so they can fast track your process much more rapidly, and then you can work on the rest of the development yourself. That's usually a more effective approach.
Yeah, and then we do need like our stars, young stars, young children to be in public speaking as well.
Well, the thing is, Uzma, public speaking is one of the greatest tools that we can possess, or one of the greatest weapons that we can possess to make an impact in the world.
Yeah.
You don't need to start wars to make an impact. You don't, I mean, your voice, we don't realize how spiritual our voice is, the impact our voice makes. Revolutions have happened purely on the basis of just a very powerful speech. So if you really, I believe that if you really want to make an impact in your society, in your community, or on a larger basis, there isn't anything more potent than delivering a powerful public speech. It is the best way to ignite new ideas, fresh ideas, to also perhaps potentially ignite transformation, innovation, change in the sector.
And transformation can start only when you know how to speak or communicate.
Absolutely. Because people will only be convinced by you if you are convincing. They will only listen to you if you can engage them. You have to be able to speak to them in a way that they believe in you. And that comes from there's a formula for that. You need to get that formula right, and then, you don't know how much of it. I mean, it's also I love it because I think it's a shortcut. I love shortcuts and efficiency. So, it's a lazy, easy way to make a great impact, because you can do so much. But imagine if you can get out there and deliver a powerful, I mean, if you look at history, it's been powerful public speakers who have changed the course of much of our life. Just because they had passion, they had conviction, and they weren't afraid, and they just went out there and spoke to audiences. So
and then if they are able to leave lifelong effects on the people's brain and heart. And it is only possible, obviously, when they are able to engage or, speak confidently.
Absolutely.
This is very important.
Absolutely.
Very good discussion going on, actually, Fatima, and I'm very happy to, Aysha, I'm very happy to call you in my program today. So, obviously, we have discussed about public speaking, about good communication skills, confident speaking, confident communication. Now tell us about a little bit more about your experience, presenting people on different, platforms, or helping them to go on the high level for the public speaking. Or about your coaching classes.
So usually when my clients will come to me, they won't really have a clue. They'll be a bit like, oh, I can't speak, or I'm nervous, or I don't know how to construct a speech, or I don't sound authoritative when I go on stage, or, and then what I do is I do an analysis first. You have to analyze first, right? You have to identify the problem. Identify what their problem is or their weak spots are. Then I construct a tailored plan for them. And then we work with them week by week. And when they have, when you're working with a coach, you have somebody who's also it's not just about what they're teaching you. It's the fact that they believe in you. It's the fact that they're empowering you.
Exactly.
That's what really creates a transformation. It's the fact that you have someone who's in your corner. So I see I see those I coach go from sort of nervous to standing up strong, confident, and delivering speeches. And that's not just because of my training, that's because they already had it within them. They just needed to refine it. And they were bold enough to then want to reach out to somebody who could help them refine it, right?
Thank you so much, Aysha. It was lovely having you in my program today.
It was wonderful
honestly.
being here. Thank you.
It was an honor to have you in my program. And obviously, you know, there is an end everywhere for everything. So time is almost finished for the program for today. I would like you to say anything or any message would you like to give all the sisters watching IQRA TV right now?
To the screen?
Yeah.
I would just say to all the ladies out there, oh my God, I don't know how I put my dupatta on today, but I don't usually. But I just wanted to say to all the women that I think that, you know, it's your human right as a lady, as a woman, as a human being, as a creature of God, to embrace your natural confidence and your potential, and to really go out there in the world and live your life with that confidence. And, you know, so don't limit yourself. Strive for your goals and be confident, because I'm telling you that, you know, confidence, we give courage.
Exactly.
When we tell people,
confidence is the key to success.
It's the key to success, so keep cultivating your confidence, and we're behind you all the way.
Thank you so much, Aysha. Thanks a lot for a lovely message. और मैं आयशा की मैसेज को आगे बढ़ाते हुए बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट होता है कि अपना सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस, अपने ऊपर जो एतबार होता है, एतमाद होता है, yes, you can do it. That is very important in your life to rebuild your life or for your bright future. And at the end, I always say confidence is the key to success. इसी के साथ दीजिए इजाज़त अपने मेज़बान उज़मा खान को। अगले हफ्ते एक और ख़ास मेहमान के साथ आपके लिए हाज़िर खिदमत होंगे। तब तक के लिए अल्लाह हाफ़िज़।